Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Deathbyphiw here. And I've got a special video for you today. I'm going to go through all of the support hero ultimates in Overwatch 2 and rank them from top to bottom. First and foremost, thinking of ultimates, I am going to say that kind of goes with the support tier list, which will be tagged in this video as well at the end. Kiriko's ultimate is absolutely game-changing. I mean, there is basically no way to counter it. You can't cancel her ult. All your team members on the team can benefit from the ult, from increased speed to increased abilities. Hit scan players, Ramatra's ult, like every single hero, the entire team, including Kiriko, can benefit from her ult. My opinion, her ultimate is the most broken ultimate in the game in its entirety compared to every single ultimate out there. She is so strong, and this ultimate puts her way over the top. Kitsune Rush is just a crazy ability, and they should nerf it in my opinion because it's just so darn strong. Next up on that list, I'm gonna put Ana's Nano Boost. I mean, it speaks for itself. Nano Blade, Nano Ramatra ult, even nanoing a hit scan hero or a Sojourn, anybody without ultimate can change the game exactly where it stands. You could win that team fight, you could win the round, you could be an OT, and you nano boost somebody who does a lot of damage, and that just changes the entire outcome. It is a huge and powerful ultimate ability that is just flat out broken in my opinion as well. It's a very strong ability. I put it very close second to Kiri's ult. Moving on down to impactful ults. Like I said, these are ults that are really strong. They're really good, but they're not gonna change the game drastically. They're going to have a huge impact. I think of the current meta and Ramatra being meta at the moment, and how to deal with, let's say a nano boosted Ramatra. What would you do in that situation? I think right off the top of my head, with these kind of tanks like Ram and Sig, their ultimates being pretty strong as well, and them just being meta, I think of defensive ults. So starting off, that comes off the top of my head is Zenyatta. Zenyatta's Transcendence, of course, it could be countered by Ana's anti-nade, but it lasts longer than the anti-last, and you could still keep the team alive. You could basically cancel out a lot of different ultimates besides like Junker Queen. But Ramatra's ult, pop it, fight it, attack them, go straight forward towards that Ram, or maybe even use it defensively to try and back up, kite away with the team, keep the team alive as they back away to try and gather their resources and wait to then turn the fight around. So it's an extremely impactful ult. I think it's always been good. I don't think it's broken, but it's always been good, especially when it was like Zarya Watch. I think it was in season 1 or 2, when Zarya was just played pretty much almost every single time in tank. And if you didn't pick Zarya, that was it. Having a Zenyatta in that situation was great because you needed a counter to grab. So Transcendence is a really strong, really impactful ability. Next up on defensive list, I'm gonna put his buddy Lucio. So Lucio is another one with a purely defensive ultimate. I think it's probably equally as strong as Transcendence, maybe slightly weaker. I say it's equally as strong because thinking of ultimates like Junker Queen's ult, thinking of Ana's nade, you can pop Lucio's ultimate and counter all that, keep your team alive. And the reason why I probably don't think it is as strong as Zenyatta's Transcendence is it doesn't heal. It adds additional HP onto your heroes, and it's temporary until that ultimate runs out. And of course, you could heal up as your, that overhealth is there. But that's where I think it kind of like gets beaten out by Zenyatta's ult. Next up, since this got buffed not too long ago, is Tree of Life. from Lifeweaver, that 100 instant overhealth is so strong and so impactful in a team fight. You could have a Genji come in and blade, you pop that Tree of Life, it may just give you that extra second or two to stay alive, try and kill that Genji and stop his ult. And it also helps with other ults, like Sigma brings you up with his ult. You come to drop down, you drop that Tree of Life, that overhealth will keep you alive. So it's a really strong ability. Plus, it lasts a while. It can be countered pretty well if you focus it as a team. So if you have like a Bastion or Soldier 76 or even a Sojourn, and if you have somebody else in your team, like say like a BAP or an Ana, shooting at the Tree of Life at the same time, let's say Bastion's in tank form, you could melt his ultimate in a second or two. It could just be eliminated. So that's why it's probably not as strong as Transcendence or Lucio's beat. Tree of Life can be easily countered, whereas it's kind of hard to counter the two other ults that are impactful on this list. Next up on the list, thinking of purely defensive, well, not necessarily purely defensive ult, but a defensive ult is Brigida's ultimate. When she ults, it provides, once again, additional armor to you, and it also gives Brig a bigger shield. She could shield bash and stun people, so she's already a pretty aggressive support. And when she does damage, it procs her Inspire, so you pop her ult, it's giving people armor. You can be extra aggressive with Brig, go in, shield bash, stun somebody, start doing more damage, use your flail, whatever it is, and that's also procking your passive and giving people health additionally on top of your team plus the armor boost. So it's a pretty strong ultimate. I would say it's kind of hard to counter as well. And the biggest counter to Brig's ult is killing her while she's ulting. So you could go ahead and target focus, go after her. When she presses her ult, you know, if you have a Bastion, focus that shield down, get rid of her shield, and try to melt her as fast as possible. And then that just eliminates her ultimate completely. Whereas like you can't kill Zenyatta in his trancing. Pretty difficult to kill Lucio when he ults because his beat just gives him so much overhealth. And I think it's a little bit easier to focus Brig over Tree of Life. Kind of like mixed between the two, whether or not Brig's ult is better or worse than Tree of Life. I think they're about equal, but a little iffy there. You can let me know in the comments below, like what your thoughts are on their ults and where they stand. Next up, this is not a defensive ult, it's more of an offensive ult, but could be used defensively to heal, is Baptiste Window. His window can be used with Bap by himself on high ground. He pops it, he can eliminate a target within like 1 or 2 shots. If you hit them in the head and you get crits, I mean, you could delete some targets instantly and you could really sway the team fight. It's very impactful. You can also increase your heals through it. So if you throw a Moira healing orb through it, it's going to heal more. If you shoot Baps, right click on PC, right click I say, to heal, it's going to heal more. Ana's shooting through it, it's going to heal more. And same way with damage. Anybody shooting through it will get the benefit. If you have a Bastion or Soldier 76 and you pop it appropriately, you can really delete the enemy team and just be extremely impactful in a team fight. And you can also use it as a singular person, as Baptiste by himself, so it's pretty universal in that situation. Moving on down to somewhat impactful. And once I said somewhat impactful doesn't mean the ultimate is bad. It just means it has an impact. It's just maybe not as big as an impact as these other ultimates when comparing them. I'm going to start off right off the bat and say Mercy's ultimate has somewhat of an impact. You could possibly say it is impactful. I say it's somewhat impactful because Mercy's really not a meta pick right now as a hero, and her ultimate is good in my opinion, but her not being really like a strong meta pick and just being more of a balanced hero brings her ultimate's value down a bit in my opinion. But you could argue that it's impactful, and I would accept that argument if you have good justification. But I'm going to say it's somewhat impactful. And, you know, if you use it at the right time, the biggest thing that I tell Mercy players, especially in lower ranks, stop holding on to your ult. If you need to secure a point, secure overtime, and even if you're up 5v4, right? Just pop your ult. It's the last fight. You can get your ult pretty quickly as Mercy if you heal and damage boost appropriately. So why hold on to it? What are you saving it for? Just pop it. Secure the point, secure that round win, secure the OT win, whatever it is. Don't hold on to it. Don't be so naive and think, oh, I got to use my ult in the most opportune situation. Like, no, even if somebody's not dead on your team, pop it. You don't need it for your, to be able to move around and resurrect someone. Sometimes just simply securing that team fight, if it's a last team fight, is more important. And you can get, by next team fight, you probably almost have your ult anyway, and you provide more value to your team in that situation. Next up is Moira. Oh, sweet Moira. I have a love-hate relationship with her as a hero because I used to play her in Overwatch 1 a lot when she was pretty much a sure shot pick. When she first came out, she was really OP. I still think she's really strong, but her utility is what drags her down that list as far as her strength. And her ultimate is pretty good. It's a somewhat impactful ult in my opinion. Like if you pop it during a team fight, you could sway that team fight. You can get the kill or keep the person alive that is taking so much damage. It could do both. You could be doing damage and heals at the same time if they're lined up in the right way. You could heal multiple targets and do damage to multiple targets. So that's where it gives its true value. Or if you're a flank Moira, you're a DPS Moira, which I do a lot in lower ranks, and a lot of top 500 players who play Moira do, is they will heal the team when needed and do damage when needed, but then find opportunities to go around, flank, throw their damage orbs, pop their ult, and get a kill on a squishy, and then shift away and go to safety, turn around, still have her ult, back away while she's getting heals and doing damage or healing the team. Like, it's really versatile. I would say it's a somewhat impactful ult and can sometimes sway a team fight in your favor. And I'm gonna end this with the last person, Illari. I honestly don't think any support ult is awful. I think support is pretty well placed today in the meta. I just think because Illari's value has been dropped down towards the end of the season and the start of the new season, that her ultimate also is easily countered, and they nerfed it a lot. So I don't think it's awful. I still think it's a pretty good ult. I just think it's situational. You have to really, really know when to use her ult to get value out of it. And if you do use it, it can be game changing if you use it appropriately. But it's more or less a situational ultimate to use because you need to know, well, do they have a diva? Do they have a shield tank? All that stuff impacts your ability to use your ult as Illari and can make it less valuable and, just useless in my opinion. So you have to really know when to do it. You could use it to clean up a fight. It's a 4v3. Their diva's down at a mech. Pop her ult, secure it, throw it down, get 2 or 3 targets in that, do the damage, delete the team, and work on getting your ultimate again and using it. So that's why I think it's situational. Yes, it can be game changing because it's an extremely strong ult, but because so many other heroes and other heroes' abilities like Kiri and shields and Lucio's Lifeweaver's ult, Briggs ult, all that stuff can help keep people alive. It just really and Diva's ability to eat her ult, Sig's ability to eat her ult, like it just really devalues her ult and makes it more of a situational ultimate to use. Well, curious to think what you think about this in the comments below. Do you agree or disagree with my decisions here on the ultimates? What would you change? Would you keep it the same? I don't know. Let me know. Well, as always, happy gaming.